Oh, right. So, Kawasaki, back in the 90s, man. Back in the 90s. You guys were on something. You were like, screw it. We've already got the fastest bike in the world, the Tomcat ZX-10. Why don't we make a bike that's even faster? How good? What is up, YouTube? My name is Vinny and welcome to Road Blast Media. Today's video is a very special one and I have to take you back to 1990. Now in 1990 a few spectacular things happened. So NASA released the Hubble Space Telescope out of the Discovery Shuttle. The Simpsons aired its first episode, the very popular animated TV show that families sat down and watched at night with their dinner. The Berlin Wall underwent its demolition and Kawasaki made the world's fastest motorcycle. Not to be dethroned for another 6 years, this bike is the Kawasaki ZX-11 Ninja, or in certain countries the ZX-11 Ninja. Now this is a very special motorcycle because being over 30 years old, had a top speed of 283 kilometers an hour. It had 135 horsepower at the rear wheel, 111 newton meters of torque. This was before the Hayabusa. This was the granddad of the sports bikes. This was the monster. This is the reason we have the hyper bikes that we do today. And it is still a very, very fast motorcycle and one to not be trifled with. This was the Widowmaker, the beast. You've got a beautiful square headlight. You've got the ram air intake, which opens up in the higher RPMs, just continuing the endless amount of power that this bike puts down. You've got a carbureted 1100cc 4-cylinder that still feels as smooth and beautiful as bikes today. The gearbox is absolutely seamless. It clicks into gear, buttery smooth. The brakes are scary nonetheless. I mean, this bike is so much power for what the brakes are capable of, but I think that's common in a lot of these old super bikes of the heyday, yesteryear sort of thing. You've got a choke on this, on a bike that has 300 kilometers an hour on its dash, a red line of 11,500 RPM. You've got the beautiful black paint job with that lovely Ninja logo down the bottom, Kawasaki on the side, the twin cam 16 valve, absolute monster of a motorcycle. We've got a nice big fat 180 on the rear and two beautiful twin pipes coming out the back. Now, very big thank you to my boss Andrew Bolwell, the owner of Colin Klein Motorcycles, for lending me his absolute pride and joy motorcycle. This is his personal bike, so I'm going to take very good care of it today. But yes, very big thanks to you, great boss, cheers man. And yeah, no, this is quite honestly one of those things that you just don't get to ride every day, but I'm a very, very lucky man and the boss has decided to let me to take it out for the weekend. Now, the ride here yeah, you'll see, because I will hop on the saddle and show you guys what this thing has. But yeah, a little tribute, an ode to a motorcycle. This is one of the ones that is going to go down as probably my favorite motorcycle I've ever ridden. As far as just mechanically, scarily put you in your place, that bike is in charge style motorbike. Now we're out in the beautiful back roads of Oamaru. This is on the way to Duntroon, and yeah, you'll see the ride over here and everything like that. So I really hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video, and I will see you on the saddle of this absolute monster of a bike. Cheers guys, and let's have some fun. Okay guys, we are now on the saddle of the mighty Kawasaki ZX-11, and boy, this thing is exciting to ride. Now straight up, the power onset You would not think this bike is 30 years old, man. Oh my god. Okay, so this thing has just mountains of torque. We're talking well over 100 Newton meters. I think it's like 111. And yeah, this thing is a monster. This thing is an absolute monster, ready to be tamed by anyone who is brave enough to ride such a beast. Now you've got suspension and braking technology from the 90s, you know, but you've got power coming out that still keeps up today as being one of the fastest bikes around. Now obviously bikes today are a lot faster, but boy, they got some stuff right back in 1990. Now regardless of this thing's weight, it is very nimble and can handle some corners well. But hell, that isn't the reason why we're doing this video. We're doing this video as a tribute to one of the gods of speed. The Kawasaki ZX-11 or ZZR 1100 is just quite a bike. It is quite honestly, it's one of those ones, man. You know, it's carbureted, it's got a choke, you know, everything is mechanical. There's no electronic rider aids, there's nothing there to save you. This thing is a dragon and it breathes fire. And baby, does that 1100 just sound so good. You don't even need aftermarket pipes on this bad boy. So we've got 135 horsepower at the rear wheel, 111 Newton meters of torque. This thing revs out to 11,500 RPM. We have a top speed of 283 kilometers an hour, and Kawasaki, you couldn't have done it any better, baby. See what we can do. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Yeah, no, too fast, too fast. This thing's way too fast, man. So that ram air intake is, quite honestly, the bike just never runs out, man. It just never runs out. It's astonishing. Holy hell. Whoa, Christ. Okay, we'll take it easy. We'll take it easy. Cool 60 mile an hour. Oh, right. So, Kawasaki, back in the 90s, man. Back in the 90s. You guys were on something. You were like, screw it. We've already got the fastest bike in the world, the Tomcat ZX-10. Why don't we make a bike that's even faster? How good? Okay, so they decide to cram an 1100cc 4-cylinder inside this big boxy body. This is before the days of the Hayabusa, man. But this is what created the Hayabusa. This was the whole reason for the Hayabusa. So this did get dethroned by the Blackbird 1100XX Honda. It didn't beat it by much. I think it beat its top speed by about 9 mile an hour. But this thing was the bike, man. In 1990 to 1996, there was nothing faster that was road legal. Nothing faster. Okay, this thing was not to be trifled with. And I mean, it is scary to this day. It is scary. It is not a bike that you would take home to meet your mum. This is a bike that created widows. You know, this was a murderer. Quite honestly. It's just the torque all the way through, man. All the way through. Oh, I like what you did, Kawasaki. You said, F it. Let's make the fastest bike in the world. And let's not let anyone take that title for 6 years straight. Okay? They only got dethroned in 96. So this thing was the god of speed from 1990 to 1996. And a lot of things happened in those years. But to be honest, the only thing that matters to me is this bike. This was quite honestly an experience, man.
I'm so grateful that the boss let me take this for a ride. I don't think anything will match this, regardless of more power, less power. This is up there, man. This is up there. It just feels so mechanical. You've got that rush of air coming through from that ram air intake, the 4-cylinder just screaming out an ungodly noise. It's not very loud due to my boss keeping this bike pretty much 100% original, but it just sounds so crisp, so smooth. That power onset is just unbelievable. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like in 1990 to hop on something like this 30 years ago, 32 years ago. Hop on something like this and travel the speeds that they were traveling. This just would have been unreal. It would have been unreal. Now, I am extremely comfortable up here. The seat is nice and wide, nice and long. I'm quite upright even with the sporty position. My feet are in a comfortable spot. This isn't a full-blown sports bike. This is definitely a touring machine. One that just has everything you need and more. Now, very much props to my boss for keeping this bike in such good working order. It had been sitting for a little while. It started first try. You know, I've had more problems with my later model Triumph Daytona. This thing just starts up, first pop, no worries at all. Fresh tank of gas, and she's away. Blew the dust out of the carbs, and boy does she go. Boy does she go. So, quite honestly, I'm going to take a step back here and do a little bit of a tribute to the once god of speed Kawasaki ZX-11. My ode to you as a beautiful bike, keeping a timeless but kinda ugly boxy look, but it all is just very beautiful in the same way. It has an ugly beauty to it. The square headlight, the big bulbous frame, the humongous jet fighter cockpit we got here, it makes you feel special. It makes you feel at one with the machine. The gear shifts are seamless. They're satisfying. They click in. You feel it. The throttle onset, as you go, the bike goes. The brakes aren't really there, if I'm going to be quite honest. They add to the feel of this machine being quite honestly scary. But I think if it had better brakes, it wouldn't be the same, would it? You got to really time your speed on this bike. You really got to time yourself. You got to watch yourself. You got to understand that the bike is in charge, okay? The bike determines whether you live or die. It is quite honestly an experience, and one of those things that I think will live with me for the rest of my life. This is an incredible, incredible machine. And in 1990, there was nothing else like it. To this day, this would embarrass certain 1000cc bikes. This would wipe the floor with certain bikes. It is very impressive. 135 horsepower at the rear wheel, 111 newton meters of torque. We're talking the baddest of the bad. Now I pray to you, God of speed from 1990, I wish you a very long life, and I hope that nobody abuses you or crashes you. You are quite simply one of the most favorite bikes I have ever ridden. I don't think you'll be matched for a very long time. This is what motorcycling is about. It's about the thrill, the handling, the feel. You know, it's not often you hop on a bike 30 years old and it scares the shit out of you. Excuse my French. So yeah, that is going to bring us to the end of this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my time with this bike. I did one pull on it and that was enough for me. That was enough for me. This bike gave me everything it had, and I am glad about that. It is the bike. It is the motorcycle. It is the one. The Kawasaki ZX-11. 1100 cc's of pure power, pure terror, pure fun. And yeah, other words, I got nothing else to say. Kawasaki, you did one hell of a good job. The Ninja lives on. It will always live on. Okay, Vinny signing off. I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is one of those ones that's going to be sentimental to me. I know it. I'll watch back on this video years to come and go, that was a moment in time, man. That was a moment in time. Kawasaki ZX-11, thank you, good evening, good night, and thank you for watching this video, lovely subscribers. Make sure to leave a comment. What was the bike of the decade for you? What was the pinnacle moment, or that bike that you hopped on and it just changed your perspective? This is it for me. Cheers guys, this is Vinny from Road Blast Media. See you on the next one.